Getting late here, but I wanted to make one last video. So, back in my car. You can probably see the traffic out to the side there, but Abraham chapter 2. Abraham leaves Ur to go to Canaan. Jehovah appears to him at Haran. All gospel blessings are promised to his seed, and through his seed to all. He goes to Canaan and on to Egypt. Let me adjust the camera a little better. Anyways. Now the Lord God caused the famine to wax sore in the land of Ur, insomuch that Haran my brother died. But Terah my father yet lived in the land of Ur of the Chaldees. And it came to pass that I, Abraham, took Sarai to wife, and Nahor my brother took Milcah to wife, who was the daughter of Haran. Now the Lord had said unto me, Abraham, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. Therefore I left the land of Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and I took Lot my brother's son, and his wife, and Sarai my wife, and also my father followed after me, unto the land which we denominated Haran. And the famine abated, and my father tarried in Haran, and dwelt there, as there were many flocks in Haran, and my father turned again unto his idolatry. Therefore he continued in Haran. Okay, just note here, first of all, that Lot is already married. So Lot is not a young man here. Maybe it doesn't speak to him having children yet. But he is the son of Haran. And he is probably somewhat older than Milcah or Sarah. Now, I do want to point out, we do know that Sarah is the daughter of Haran, so she was Abraham's niece. I will do a brief video on that topic, because how we know that, it's a little bit much, but it is confirmed in the book of Jasher again, that she was the daughter of Haran. So she is Lot's sister. But you'll note, horrible famine in the land of Ur. The oldest dies. Haran dies in the famine, and so Abraham and Lot and their wives leave, and his father goes with him. So his father kind of repented a little bit, kind of straightened himself out, enough at least to be willing to follow Abraham because of the famine. But they travel down into the land of Canaan, and there they establish themselves in a land that they chose to call Haran, after his brother. And there the famine is abated. It is now prosperous, they're living good lives, and his father returns to his idolatry. So his father never really repented. He just kind of made a show of it because of the famine. So, continuing on, verse 6. But I, Abraham, and Lot, my brother's son, prayed unto the Lord, and the Lord appeared unto me, and said unto me, Arise, and take Lot with thee, for I have purposed to take thee away out of Haran, and to make of thee a minister, to bear my name in a strange land, which I will give unto thy seed after thee for an everlasting possession, when they hearken to my voice. For I am the Lord thy God, I dwell in heaven, the earth is my footstool. I stretch my hand over the sea, and it obeys my voice. I cause the wind and the fire to be my chariot. I say to the mountains, Depart hence, and behold, they are taken away by a whirlwind, in an instant, suddenly. My name is Jehovah, and I know the end from the beginning. Therefore my hand shall be over thee, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee above measure, and make thy name great among all nations. And thou shalt be a blessing unto thy seed after thee, that in their hands they shall bear this ministry and priesthood unto all nations. And I will bless them through thy name, for as many as receive this gospel shall be called after thy name, and shall be accounted thy seed, and shall rise up and bless thee as their father. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee, and in thee, that is, in thy priesthood, and in thy seed, that is thy priesthood. For I have given thee a promise, that this right shall continue in thee, and in thy seed after thee, that is to say, the literal seed, or the seed of the body. Shall all the families of the earth be blessed, even with the blessings of the gospel, which are the blessings of salvation, even of life eternal. And let us pause there again. That's a nice part. His father Terah turned back to his idolatry, but he said, but I, Abraham, and Lot, my brother's son, prayed. So they still were seeking the Lord. And it appears that Terah wasn't seeking the Lord. He fell back to his idolatry because he didn't pray. He didn't seek the Lord. But there's a couple of things to note in this message that God gives to Abraham. First of all, we are given, this is in chronological order of the scriptures, this is the first time that the name Jehovah is given. But he doesn't state that that the name wasn't known before Abraham. This is just the first time it was recorded. All the patriarchs knew who God was, and they knew his name. But I just wanted to point that out. This is the first time, if we go in chronological order, that the name Jehovah appears. Now, a couple other things here. I know the end from the beginning. Now, some people might want to claim that this refers to God knowing everything that's going to happen, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think to a large extent it just means that God has everything planned out. He knows what the final conclusion will be. But all the details in between are up to us. So, the creation, the fall, the flood, the exodus of Israel, Abraham himself, these major events were all known, planned for, and it went through the plan. But each of us individually, we still affect things to a certain extent. We can't change the outcome, and we can't change those major events, but we have power in our own lives. The last thing I want to point out here is where he talks about, in thee and in thy seed shall all people be blessed. He mentions in thee and in thy seed, meaning the priesthood. Sorry, my light just went out. Sheesh. This is going to be a fun video. Anyways, through the priesthood, everybody is blessed. But he also says, all those who are faithful will call themselves the children of Abraham. Because in the priesthood, when you are baptized, you are, in a sense, adopted into the posterity of Abraham. You are adopted into the family of Abraham through baptism. So he became the father of the faithful. But the power of the priesthood, the authority, or the birthright priesthood, that was to descend through the literal descent of Abraham. This isn't just anybody who's faithful. This is the birthright. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Ephraim. We don't know exactly how it goes after Ephraim, but one second. There we go. That's why it was still dark. Anyways, so through the blessings of the priesthood, through the ordinances, everybody will be blessed and everybody will become the sons of Abraham, or sons and daughters of Abraham, as the father of the faithful. but only the literal descendants can have the birthright, or the patriarchal priesthood. Anyways, let's pick this up, verse 12. Now after the Lord had withdrawn from speaking to me, and withdrawn his face from me, I said in my heart, Thy servant has sought thee earnestly, now I have found thee. Thou didst send thine angel to deliver me from the gods of Elkanah, and I will do well to hearken unto thy voice. Therefore let thy servant rise up and depart in peace. So I, Abraham, departed as the Lord had said unto me, and Lot with me. And I, Abraham, was 62 years old when I departed out of Haran. And I took Sarai, whom I took to wife, when I was in in Chaldea, and Lot my brother's son, and all our substance that we have gathered, and the souls that we had won in Haran, and came forth in the way to the land of Canaan, and dwelt in tents as we came on our way. Therefore eternity was our covering, and our rock and our salvation, as we journeyed from Haran by the way of Jershon to come to the land of Canaan. Now I, Abraham, built an altar in the land of Jershon, and made an offering unto the Lord, and prayed that the famine might be turned away from my father's house, that they might not perish. And then we passed from Jershon through the land unto the land of Shechem. It was situated in the plains of Moreh, and we had already come into the borders of the land of the Canaanites, and I offered sacrifice there in the plains of Moreh, and called on the Lord devoutly, because we had already come into the land of this idolatrous nation. And the Lord appeared unto me in answer to my prayers, and said unto me, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And I, Abraham, arose from the place of the altar which I had built unto the Lord, and removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched my tent there, Bethel on the west, and Hai on the east. And there I built another altar unto the Lord, and called again upon the name of the Lord. And I, Abraham, journeyed, going on still towards the south, and there was a continuation of a famine in the land. And I, Abraham, concluded to go down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine became very grievous. And it came to pass, when I was come near to enter into Egypt, the Lord said unto me, Behold, Sarai, thy wife, is a very fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see her, they will say, She is his wife, and they will kill you, but they will save her alive. Therefore see that ye do on this wise. Let her say unto the Egyptians, She is thy sister, and thy soul shall live. And it came to pass that I, Abraham, told Sarai my wife all that the Lord had said unto me. Therefore say unto them, I pray thee, Thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. Anyways, I'm going to put this back here for now. That is the end of chapter 2. You'll note that the journeying of Abraham there follows pretty closely to Genesis, in Genesis 12. I can't remember if Genesis 12 mentioned Jershon, but they did go to the plains of Moreh and then to Bethel with Hai on the east and Bethel on the west before going into Canaan. The one difference that I did want to point out, well, there's two really quick. First, in Genesis, it says he was 75 when he left Haran. Here it says he was 64. I think it said 64. Yeah. In his mid-60s anyways. I think the difference can be explained in that he was 75 when he reached Egypt, not when he left Haran. He left Haran when he was 74, and it took him 11 years traveling down to Egypt. Each place he stopped, Jershon, Moreh, Bethel, he probably stayed for a couple of years. But he kept moving on because the famine was bad. He would stop for a time, but the famine would kind of catch up to him, and he'd have to move on. And he eventually made it to Egypt. The last thing to mention is that in Genesis, it is Abraham's idea to call Sarah his wife, his sister. But in Abraham, it is God commanding him to do so. So it's an interesting little change. I don't think it changes the story significantly, but it's an interesting change. Make of it what you will. and we will end it there.